Hey guys, so today I will be walking you through a comprehensive roadmap to become an API documentation specialist, especially in 2026, in the era of AI. With the interest of people who are non-coders looking for a high-paying role, I'm going to break down this into three simple steps. Basically, we are seeing a massive hike in salaries for API writers, hitting the ceiling from anywhere from 80 lakh to 35 lakh. I'm giving data from my students, right? So before I get started, I will talk about exact tools and concepts you need to break into non-coding API writing work. Hope you're clear with till now. So let's start. So now, moving ahead, you might wonder why this specific niche pays so well, right? Compared to general technical writing. In a nutshell, the industry is shifting to what we call an API first model. Companies are designing their APIs before writing a single line of code. So, assuming you are a non coder, you don't need to write the software, but you do need to understand how this API works, right? And how to document these APIs, right? So, it is really a wonderful opportunity at this given time because this demand is high, but the supply of a specialist is still low. So what you should do in this scenario, right? So first thing, mastering the fundamentals. You might have heard Sachin Tendulkar or many cricketers saying, "I stick with the basics." So here is that you should stick with the basic. That is mastering the fundamentals. So what is the fundamental? So the first step in mastering the technical fundamentals, again, you don't need to code, right? But you must decipher the data. Let's try to understand this from a developer point of view. Ultimately, API documentation is read by developers. They use it. So assume you are a developer building a food nutrition app. Let's take example of food nutrition app, right? You need to fetch a data about calories or ingredients. My everything is around food, okay? So you need to fetch data about calories or ingredients, okay? So this from where that app will get this data. This data will come via an API, okay? So your website or your portal will pull this data via API. So what you need to understand? So you need to understand three core concepts of API. One is HTTP protocol, right? You might have heard or read about protocols during your college time. So HTTP protocol. So HTTP protocol, what it does? So its role is how the request is sent, right? Suppose I want a detail of apple, right? I'm going to eat an apple. I want to know how much calorie an apple have, right? So I will be requesting that I need a calorie count of apple. First, one concept is HTTP protocol. Second step is JSON. JSON, JavaScript Object Notation. This is basically language of data, right? This is basically a language of data which stands for JavaScript Object Notation. Next is third concept which you need to understand is endpoint. Endpoint is basically a specific URL where the data lives. I will show you all this thing in detail in my next upcoming video. I hope you are able to see the logic here. When a developer asks for an apple, the API, when a request is made about apple, API will give a response, and that response will come with a JSON packet containing calories and other details like how much sugar is there, how much fiber is there, how much protein is there, all those things, right? So your job is not to write the code. Your job is to document exactly what the request looks like and what the response will be. So start by learning how to read JSON It looks technical, but it's just a structured text basically, right? So you need to understand JSON, right? And believe me, it's very simple to learn. There are thousands of technical writers who are from non-coding background. They are doing it, and if they can do it, you can also do it. And I'm talking to you, yes. So I'm clear here. So you have to learn three concepts: HTTP protocols, JSON, and endpoints, right? So definitely you can watch my API videos. There I have talked about all those things, and in future also I will keep creating these videos. So your fundamentals, you have to understand your fundamental. That is the first concept. Second, now you have the fundamentals. You need certain tools to write the documentation. The way we in technical writing we use RoboHelp, Madcap Flare, other tools, right? MS Word. So here also you can use that tool. It's not that you cannot use it. But for API documentation, we have certain specific tools, and the most famous is India own tool, that is Postman. Okay, so one most tool which I want every technical writer, API technical writer should learn is Postman. Okay, so I have given this demo in my previous videos. If you're not able to get it, then I will make a fresh video on that. But for that, you have to comment Postman in my YouTube. Basically, you use this to test the API, right? Like before writing any product, we play with the product, we understand the product. Similarly, with API, you have to play with the API. You have to understand the API. You have to test the API before you write about it. So you send a request and you get a response. You send a request like details of apple and you get a response with the sugar, calories, whatever, fibers, proteins, whatever, right? So you send a request, you get a response, and you will see how it works, right? So it's integral for understanding how the API is before you document it. I always ask my students, become a API tester first, then API writer. Become a product expert first, then a technical writer. If you don't know the API, if you don't know your product, you will never write in a depth or detailed way. You will be always a shallow writer. You will have a huge dependency on developers, and then you will not be respected, and you will say that I am not getting respect. So learn to use the product. If you're an API writer, learn to know how to use the API. If you're a technical writer, learn to how to use the product. So second tool which I recommend is Swagger, right? So again, you can learn about Swagger anywhere. Third tool which I recommend is Git. So Git is basically, I always prefer GitHub. So it's a versioning tool, but there you can have your document repository also. And even you can write document there in README file, right? So these three tools, right, which I always recommend any API writer should know. Clear? You don't have a bigger stack of tools here. It's a very simple tools. They are very, very simple tools which you can learn easily. So now you understand the fundamentals, you learn the tools. Now what? You have to showcase that you know this. How you will know? If you have not worked in a real life, right? So what you can do? You can create your own samples. And GitHub is a good repository where you can create your samples. I always recommend GitHub to create your samples. So you can take any API, free API, I mean say open source API. There are a lot of open source API regarding food, regarding whether they are available in the market. So take them, make their specs, make their API document, which can showcase your expertise that you know API documentation. Clear? So what you have to do? First, you have to understand the fundamentals. Second, learn the tools. Third, showcase that you know them. That's by creating your own samples, sample documents. Do these three things, and believe me, you can hit the market from 20 lakh to 30 lakh, 35 lakh, 40 lakh, right? So depends on the company you will get hired and current salary, right? So salary is not a barrier in API documentation. Yeah. So in a nutshell, learn to read JSON and HTTP, get comfortable with Postman, Swagger, Git, and build a portfolio. So the salary you are seeing, right, is you can touch any salary. I want to say, right? So they don't have a limit there. So I have explained a few of these technical terms in my previous videos, and you can go ahead and watch those videos for more clarity. And if you find this roadmap helpful, please leave a comment so that I will have an idea on which topic you want more videos, right? And if you find anything difficult to learn, you feel free to reach out to my team. Details is available in the YouTube descriptions. You can find me on LinkedIn. Okay, so you can find me anywhere. I'm very easily searchable. So thank you for watching till last. Hope you will watch my complete series on API documentation and you will execute what I have taught you here. Thank you.